And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week. Some good news from the courts this week, as even the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania says Governor Tom Wolf's mask mandate has to go. They affirmed a lower court ruling that said it was illegal. I've been saying all along that the people of Pennsylvania are entitled to another constitutional amendment to safeguard their rights and liberties, in addition to the two that were passed earlier this year that limited the governor's powers even under an emergency declaration. We need a constitutional amendment that would allow we, the people, the opportunity to recall and remove from office any governor that thinks he or she is a king. Tom Wolf, beware. And the Supreme Court of the United States upheld the Texas statute on abortion, again limiting the access to abortion, which I think most Americans want. Jussie Shapiro, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, who weighs in on all these cases, said this week that he wants to see expanded access to abortion, meaning more abortions. You know, for a long time, the left said that they wanted abortion to be safe, legal, and rare. Sadly, the rare part has gone out the window, and might I add, an awful lot of the safety part as well. It really shows how radical the position of Jussie Shapiro is on this vital issue. Most Pennsylvanians, even those who consider themselves to be pro-choice, don't want access to abortion at any stage of gestation for any reason whatsoever. They want reasonable limitations put on the right to abortion. So this is something to watch, because the radical positions of Jussie Shapiro continue to unfold. And parenthetically, once again, I call on Jussie Shapiro to resign. I did it the day that he announced his candidacy for governor, saying that nobody should be running statewide while taking a taxpayer paycheck in the process. You simply can't do the job of Attorney General and traipse around this state as you're required to do to successfully run for governor. I run a small business, and I took a leave of absence from my little company in order to run for governor. How about those that hold the public trust and public office, who are asking for their taxpayer-paid paychecks, but refuse to do the work and the job to which they were elected? In a criminal court this week, Jussie Smollett found guilty on 5 out of 6 felony charges of faking a hate crime and then lying to the police about it. If you want to have some fun, go back and look at the comments of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Reverend Al Sharpton, and others when this fake incident first came to light. And look at the over-the-top statements that they made, jumping in before they had the facts. They ought to be pretty embarrassed now, and let's see if they walk them back. Let's see if something else gets walked back. One of the other court hearings that was held recently was in Philadelphia, where John Doherty, the head of one of the most powerful unions in the state, and a public official, Bobby Henon, were both convicted on corruption charges. The general idea of the whole case was that Bobby Henon had been bought by John Doherty with campaign funds. Let's take a look at the other politicians in Pennsylvania that took those funds from John Doherty and see if they're now willing to give them back. Many editorialists are now saying that that's what should be done. I happen to agree with them, so let's take a look at who has those dollars from Johnny Doc's union taken while he was in office, before he resigned and before he was convicted, but while he was carrying on the pattern of criminal behavior that was exposed in his trial. One more little piece out of the city of brotherly love this week. George Soros-backed District Attorney Larry Krasner tried to convince the world that Philadelphia doesn't have a, quote, crisis of lawlessness or crime or violence. That despite the fact that Philadelphia has a record number of murders this year. Even former Mayor Michael Nutter called this a certain bit of nuttiness on Larry Krasner's part, and Krasner tried to then walk it back, but it exposed precisely the problem that's going on in Philadelphia right now, where you have a district attorney that turns a blind eye on the most egregious, heinous, violent crimes that largely affect black and brown people. There's a problem in Philadelphia, and it begins with Larry Krasner. We, as the people of Pennsylvania, need to do something about it. We move, though, through the Advent season and towards Christmas. And as our Jewish friends celebrate Hanukkah, those of the Christian faith look forward to Christmas. Let us hope that all are enjoying a beautiful holiday season, because that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.